What's poppin', y'all? There's been a lot of news lately in regards to FaZe and the money and everything that happened with that. And somebody that's been oddly silent is none other than Plaqueboymax. And I just had to speak on this because this just made me sick to my stomach. Nah, I'm just gassing it up. It didn't make me sick to my stomach, but it did make me raise an eyebrow or two. And I said the following. It's funny how silent Plaqueboymax is on all of this. He was painting FaZe Banks as this big bad villain. And now, even the new core guys, which is the new group that FaZe formed, are saying, yeah, we just got invested in and got all this money for nothing and we went our separate ways. But Plaqueboymax specifically was trying to make FaZe Banks look like he was some demon behind the scenes, and now he's nowhere to be found when the dust is clear. So for those asking, well, why would he say anything? He hasn't been in FaZe. No. Let me stop you right there. Because when the FaZe breakup happened, which was in December of last year, Max had already been left FaZe. He had left quite a while before that. Several months before that, actually, in August.
Shout out to everyone in FaZe. I love all of them. They my boys. I don't own FaZe. I don't own FaZe, gang. No ownership. I want to build something. If your pussy hurt because you're mad that I want to build something for myself, sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Because I'm still going to do it. And I'm going to make this 5-star shit the biggest shit ever. And me, the biggest shit ever. That don't mean I don't f with these. That don't mean I won't f with these. That don't mean I won't do shit with these niggas. I love them. They're my boys. But at the end of the day, bro, I'm going to do what I feel is right for me. And then when you see this shit work out down the line, you'll see what I mean. That's all I'm going to say. I love these niggas, though. But I got to make grown man decisions. I'm 22. I'm not 18 no more in my mom's room.
So here he was saying that he didn't own FaZe, he didn't own any part of it, and he wanted to build something himself. That was what he was saying. Now, we don't know if he wanted to build a group. Clearly, he didn't want to build a group because the core boys now exist and he's not a part of it. What does that tell you? Well, we'll get into that a little bit later. But clearly, he left in August. There wasn't any bad blood. He said, we don't own it. However, there was a response from Lacey at that same time in August where he had a differing account.
First of all the new guys in FaZe, we do have ownership, okay? It's not a lot, but we do. All right, so that's first thing. Second off, to this Brick Sky guy that's saying this, all right? Listen, y'all gotta understand, it's a thing where we are in FaZe, okay? I don't pay for housing. I live for free, all right? This mansion that I live in is free. My stream room is free. The stuff in my stream room is free because FaZe pays for it. Bepsy and Addison setting up production for all the streams. FaZe pays for it. Every YouTube video you guys see that drops on every Friday. Not a dime comes out of my pocket. FaZe pays for it. I rep FaZe. I am FaZe. And in return, FaZe covers everything that I need in order for me to produce content. That seems like a fair trade-off to me. And if it doesn't to you guys, then I don't know. But that's for me, that's good for me.
So here was Lacey going against what Plaqueboymax said, which was, oh no, we do got some ownership, which we would later find out wasn't true from what we've seen. So fast forward. So Max left. People asked him why he left. It's over. He's not part of it anymore. All of those guys decide to leave in December. And Plaqueboymax decides to drop like a 30-minute video or segment on stream, hopping back into the FaZe Clan drama when he had left before. So for people saying, oh, why would he self-insert now? He self-inserted last time. And this is actually really important.
If y'all can recall, there was a stream later on into the month where I'm not even going to specifically name names because if he was there, he was there. It's not the most big deal. But we had a sponsor. There was a sponsor for that day and didn't end up doing the sponsor. Game night. Yes, if he was there, he was there. Didn't end up doing the sponsor. There was difficulties with the sponsor. Yeah. After that happened, according to the assistants and staff of the creators, because I'm not gonna lie, I just really don't remember. But they said that FaZe has pulled everybody for the rest of the month and sent home early, right? This is the first time where in my head I went, okay, so how much control do we have here? And how much control do we have over us? If that makes sense, right? I'm gonna say that one more time again. How much control do we have here, and how much control do they have over us? Move into January. Y'all know I started 365. Someone at FaZe had introduced me to my old manager, Brandon. Shout out, Brandon. Was working with Brandon from about November to January. Y'all probably seen him, tall white boy with hair. You feel me? Yeah, 153. Oops. Brandon had falling out with person who introduced me. And person who introduced me tells me, according to my assistant.
So his question was, yo, how much control do we have? Now, to give you full context, $7 million a year was being spent. These guys were having everything paid for, including, but not limited to, their housing, their health. I don't know about food. They probably paid that for themselves. They got all of the stream money that they had. They didn't have a cent that was taken from them in any regard. And production, filmers, all that other stuff was provided for them. And he's saying, well, I don't know how much control we have over here because they got a sponsor, FaZe got a sponsor, and these guys threw a tantrum. He said, yo, we didn't really mess with the sponsor. I don't know who the sponsor was because the only sponsor that I remember seeing was in March of last year, and that was Four Loko. And Plaqueboymax was not a part of that Four Loko sponsorship, oddly enough. It was Ron, it was Adapt, and it was Lacey. But he was talking about Phasemas, which was December 2024. I think that was like the first subathon or whatever the hell you want to call it. And I don't know if that was the crypto sponsor that they potentially had. But yeah, anyway, there was the Four Loko sponsor. That's the only one I really remember. Regardless, it's not that important. The point is that FaZe, he's saying that they got upset and they sent everybody home. Yeah, dude, they've been spending all this money. And then they're finally like, okay, an opportunity for us to make some money that we've been bleeding all these months. And then you guys throw a tantrum. Like, come on, dog. So keep in mind, after he leaves, his cousin, this guy, Dip, he has the following to say.
I'm like, gang, you're Plaqueboymax. You can get that yourself. And if you want to split it, that's cool. What the So this is where we end up taking it down. Little do we know they're selling his identity without letting him know. And so Max ends up leaving FaZe. We only knew this because he left FaZe. He got the deal on Spotify. They dropped FaZe and gave it to Max. Guess how much this was for? 400 bands for 5 months. About to run off a half the ticket off.
So his cousin starts talking about like, yeah, they were selling his name and likeness, which let me tell you guys something. That's kind of what happens when you sign a deal like that. Yeah, when LeBron signs with the NBA, part of the NBA is, hey, we can put LeBron James' name on a jersey and sell it. Yeah, that's how that works. And then he's talking about this Spotify deal that they got. Well, they never took the Spotify deal because they announced that they didn't make a single dollar off of them. So Lacey would finally react and fairly admit the full-on truth.
Facts, bro. Facts, bro. Thank you for making my career. Thank you. Facts, bro. Appreciate it. Can this end now? Can it end now? Can it end now? Can it end now, bro? I guess I wasn't averaging 7,000 to 8,000 viewers before. I guess. The main thing I will say is thank you for introducing me to people that I know will be my brothers forever and my friends forever in my life. That I will give the credit for because I wouldn't have met Ron, I wouldn't have met Jason and Silky and Max and Adapt and Kason and been as close with them as I was. So, that's the good that came out of it for me. I wouldn't have met Enrage, I wouldn't have met all these people. Thank you so much for planting the seed.
So here, Lacey admits it. He says, yeah, we got all of this bread. We didn't have to pay anything. And everybody won. We all went our separate ways and ended up winning. Well, no, those guys didn't win. They took a fat L on you, and you all won. And yeah, I agree. Lacey was averaging a significant amount of viewership by himself. So he didn't need this, but this helped his career a lot. Now he's like a mainstream streamer versus before he was a niche streamer that had come out of the Fortnite community and had built himself up. And now he has his own org. So Banks, FaZe Banks, who's emotionally involved in this, unlike Matt Kalish, the billionaire, who was able to really just lay down the facts and just be like, yeah, you know what it is, took that L and we kept it pushing. But, you know, when he's stone cold, ice cold like that, you know he's a top tier business guy. So FaZe Banks would respond.
I feel like it worked out for the best in both ways, right? FaZe doesn't have to pay $7 million for us anymore a year, our own organization, without paying $7 million a year.
There you go. There you have it. Was that so hard to say, Lacey? Like, is that so hard to say, Ron? Anybody else watching or a part of this whole thing? Was that so incredibly hard to say? The one thing that you got wrong here in this clip, Lacey, is that it worked out best for everybody. It didn't. We lost entirely on this exchange. We essentially seeded these guys' careers, specifically them as a content group. We basically seeded Core. FaZe basically seeded Core. We funded and founded the entire operation, and like Matt had just said, and like Lacey just acknowledged, pumped $7 million a year into marketing them and establishing their careers as a group, paying for things like the house and production, etc. I will give Lacey credit in this clip. Were we paying for things that we shouldn't have been paying for? Absolutely. Were interests not properly aligned in the beginning? Absolutely. Again, I'll take full credit for that and that going wrong. I just thought, again, in good faith, if we did something and it worked, nobody would want it to, get up and we'd figure out a way to make the business work.
Yeah, he spit straight facts here. They invested seed capital. This was a Series A into a unicorn, and the unicorn just left and they didn't get any percentage of it. And now they have their own org. And on top of that, one thing that's been very odd is Jason the Ween, how he's been playing this
deal where it's like, we'll take 20% of all your money and you get to be in something like this. Is this not what happened?
Call in anyone and ask them if they got shown a deal to give them 20% of their money.
This is what the internet thinks, right?
It's fake, man. That's fake.
So you just don't think that there was a way to get money out of it? But I'm sure.
Yeah, call like Swag. Ask Swag if he was ever asked for anything. Ask Your Rage if he was ever asked for anything. Do you know what I'm saying? Literally all the losses were really just tied to one thing, which was the content house, the streamer content house, lost $7 million a year.
I just don't know what I can say and can't say, what I can say and what I can't say. He your daddy or something? I mean, kinda. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Brother, I could say the truth, right, though? I could say the truth, though.
So the guy that Jason is responding to is Matt Kalish, the guy that owns DraftKings, the guy that put up the capital for them to bring back FaZe. And he's just laying everything as it is. And Jason the Ween here, this guy's LARPing like he can't say anything. We know you can talk because Lacey is talking. And if it was an NDA, it would be between both ends. None of you guys would be able to say what the terms were of the deal were or anything like this. So he's pretending like, oh, I can't say anything because the narrative is these guys took advantage of us. They were predatory. It was this big bad corporation and they wanted to, like suck the life out of us when that wasn't the case. Now, what makes me think why Max isn't speaking on this, not only, number one, is he's going to look terrible because they said they didn't get a single dime or a dollar off of you. So this whole narrative that people are even responding to my tweet talking about, yeah, they took Plaqueboymax's Spotify deal. Well, speak on that. You let that narrative run about the Spotify deal. Where's it at right now? Did they take a Spotify deal? No, they didn't. And even if they did, they had the right to take a percentage if they were able to get the Spotify deal, but they didn't. And what makes me think why he's also not responding is he don't mess with these guys because Banks even said that.
Again, because I just watched some clips from this Plaqueboymax stream where he's playing a laugh track over my tweet. And it's like, Max, I know we've had like our individual differences, and I know I haven't really seen eye to eye with a lot of the talent because truthfully and honestly, I find you guys all to be incredibly ungrateful. I find you guys all to have insane egos, and I think it's disgusting and makes me sick to my stomach. that your guys' relationships with each other and with every other streamer and your community included is so incredibly fake. You guys are the best actors on planet Earth, and you've made a complete career out of all of it. Max, these are your boys, but these are the same guys that said they hated your guts after you left. And you know, you're the program and you have an ego the size, you think you're Travis Scott and this and that. And also, like, Max, multiple conversations about how Ron's content's cringe and you guys didn't with the dad. None of you guys with Lacey or Jason in the beginning. You guys didn't want these guys to live anywhere near you. You barely wanted to share a brand with them. But FaZe was gonna fund a Miami house for you, Rage, Silky, and Kason. So fuck it, we'll take what we can get. And then it all worked, and we forced this relationship. And I was called a hard then, and I was told then I was ruining FaZe. And now 2 years later, it wound up being the best thing that ever happened. So you understand why I'm sitting here and I'm frustrated. I would hope anyone watching could sit here and understand why I would be frustrated while a entire hate mob is coming after me on Christmas, my first Christmas without my mom.
So here was Banks saying back in December, and months before that, Max wasn't even messing with these guys, Lacey or Jason. He probably thought they were quote unquote corny, according to him. And Lacey and Jason are really the only ones interacting with this situation about the business side. And I really do appreciate the transparency from Lacey's end and the honesty. Like, this guy is very mature and capable. And I think he's a lot brighter than he makes himself out to be, because there was also a situation that happened with Aiden Ross, and there was some like money things that they were arguing about at Fat Camp, like this stream idea that they had for a weekend. Or it actually ended up happening. It wasn't just an idea. And they were able to patch that up. They handled the money situation there. And yeah, I think this guy's, he's a smart guy. And I think he's an honest guy, and he wears his heart on his sleeve. And that makes me like him a little bit more. But Banks, I think he took more of a liking to Max than all of these other guys, because Max was also involved in the music side of things. And Plaqueboymax, or not just Plaqueboymax, Banks, he's always loved underground. Like, this guy's one of the biggest fanboys of Netspend, that garbage piece of trash musician. He has like one or two songs, probably one of the worst projects that just dropped recently. However, Matt Ox, even though you're beefing with him, it's not enough for me to check out your music. Sorry, it's not 10 years ago. But I'm glad to see you're still doing your thing, though. You are that guy's father, to be fair. So I think Max isn't responding because of this. But where are you at, Max? Like, we need to hear from Plaqueboymax. Like, this is Ja Rule, and this is of the utmost importance, because it's easy to throw the whole, and do you know how much power these guys had as a group, where they could say, like, to hundreds of thousands of people, yeah, this guy's evil, he took advantage of me. And we see the text, and behind the scenes, Banks was just trying to help Max with everything, even after he left FaZe, and never asked him for a dime. So he was giving him his time for somebody that's been in this industry for 15 plus years, an OG. And like, keep in mind, like, I've been critical of FaZe Banks myself, but this whole situation, no, it's not a big bad evil company. These people weren't taking advantage of you. If anything, well, not if anything, it was the exact opposite. You guys got the biggest blessing of your career. And Max, his 5-star thing, I think he's just focusing solo. Like I said, I do think Max is bigger than these guys. So I'm glad that he went and did his own thing. But the fact that he's not one of the core boys when they have the create, own, run everything means that Lacey definitely didn't own it, because now ownership is the new theme. And he didn't join them this time. And I think it's because he wants to be like the cool guy. You see him hanging out with Ian Connor and like these other rap guys, and he feels like these people make him a little bit lamer. Even though he's willing to do collaborations with them, he doesn't want to be under the same banner. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'm just trying to be fair here. I'm just trying to be honest. I do not like the lies that are being perpetrated, or that have been perpetrated and allowed to just stay. But yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.